Okay, so very good evening, guys, everyone. Okay, guys, am I audible? Okay, right, fine. So, screen is visible, voice is clear, right? Okay, perfect. So today, without any issue, we can start the session. Yesterday, I guess multiple issues are there. Eventually, we lost that interest, I guess, right? But today, we'll make sure we'll try to make the session more interactive and interesting. So let's try to completely focus on data query language DQL. And let's try to focus more upon understanding the topics, especially a select statement. And today we'll try to go with where clause in detail, right? So if you are utilizing hyphen and whatever the code that you are trying to execute, this is going to be your single line comment. So online participants, you can utilize your chat window. Offline participants, you can orally communicate. Whatever the things that you want to provide, you can just provide directly. Okay. Utilize the resource, try to be interactive session. We'll try to learn more out of it. So hyphen again, you are providing some space. This in itself is a single line comment. And if you are providing slash star, and this in itself is going to be your multi-line comment. That means in multiple lines, you can just try to write that entire code. Single line comment as well as multi-line comment. Now, whatever the line that you want to picturize, whatever the thing that you want to draw there in a single line, you consider it as single line comment. And what are the conclusions that you want to picturize in slash star star slash, you conclude it as multi-line comment. Okay. Now, when you're working with these options, the first immediate thing that you need to focus on here is DDL and DML is clear. In DDL, we discussed about create, drop, alter, truncate, rename. In DML, we discussed about insert, update, and delete. May I know what is the difference between delete, truncate, and drop? Delete, row by row or all the rows. Table structure remains same. Truncate, table structure remains same. All the rows have been deleted. Drop, everything gets deleted. Create is to create an object, a table, a database. Alter is utilized to add a column or delete a column, these things. Rename is to rename a table. Insert is to insert the data into the table. Update and delete is utilized as data manipulation thing, updating the data, deleting the data. If you want to update the table structure outside, go with DDL. If you want to deal with updations, deletions of data inside the table, go with DML, data manipulation language. Fine. And then let's proceed with a new topic. Day before yesterday, we started with data query language select statement. And we discussed about selecting all the columns from the table, selecting some columns from that particular table instead of star, limiting the rows with the help of limit clause, ordering that entire data set with the help of order by clause. And there we discussed about offset. Offset comes before limit or after limit. Limit works without offset. Offset works without limit. No. Limit will work without offset. That we already discussed. But offset will not work if you are not utilizing limit. Remember. And offset comes after limit. Okay. And we just started with where clause. But all of a sudden some issues are there. But anyhow, let's try to do 2 to 3 questions on where clause and try to go with new concepts in where clause itself. So we actually got stuck at the point called comparison operators and logical operators. So basically, when we are talking about operators available in SQL, you are having two different types: comparison operators and logical operators. As far as comparison operators are concerned, you will be having something called less than, greater than, less than equals to, greater than equals to, equals to, and not equals to. For not equals to, you can utilize this symbol, or you can even utilize this symbol. Anything works. These are the comparison operators that we are utilizing more frequently. Along with this comparison operators, you are having one more topic called logical operators. Logical operators. And in logical operators, you'll be having something called and, or, in, not in, between. These are the different types of logical operators available. First thing first, let's try to go with simple comparison operators, 2 questions on it, and then we'll advance with comparison logical operators. What is the table that we are utilizing, guys? IMP. Select star from IMP, execute. You will be getting the same data which consists of 10 columns and 106 rows. Chalo, fine, well and good. Now my requirement is I want all the employees. See, try to understand the question. Don't do it parallelly. For the first question, just try to explain me the answer. I'll try to run it. 2 questions I'll do, 2 questions you'll do. Okay. The first question is very simple. I want all the employees where the condition satisfies, like salary of that employee should be greater than 10,000. I want those employees with salary greater than 10,000 who are working in this company. I want all the columns, guys. Code select star from MyMP, where if you are not putting where clause, you will get entire data. If you are putting where clause, whichever the where condition that has been satisfied, you will get the data. Simple. If you are not putting where clause, you will get everything. But if you don't want everything, you want limited portion based upon your requirement, put that where clause and you utilize that requirement. Where salary greater than 10,000. Now this greater than itself is nothing but comparison operator. Now just utilize it. How many rows you are getting? What does it mean? 106 employees are working in the company, but there are only 15 employees who are working with salary greater than 10,000. But remaining all employees are working with salary less than 10,000. Now, how to cross check it? Simply execute the code. Select star from MyMP where salary less than equals to I'll put now. Now, just for simplicity, I'm utilizing one more operator called less than equals to. Greater than 10, greater than 10,000, 15 employees are there. There is a possibility of having an employee salary with even 10,000 as well, right? So less than equals to 10,000. Semicolon, execute. How many rows you are getting? 91 plus 15? 106. The total employees working in the company? 106. Clear, guys? Now, this is how we can utilize comparison operators in your SQL. Simple. Now let's go with logical operators. We'll go with the first logical operator called AND operator. See, what is the difference between and or? Any. If you are going with AND operator, both the conditions need to be satisfied, and based upon that, you will be getting the data. While if you are going with OR operator, either of the one satisfies, no problem, you just get the data. The first one is satisfying, second one is not satisfying, not a problem, just pull the data. If you are going with AND operator, the rows will increase, or OR operator, you will get more rows. OR. Obviously, OR. Why? Because AND in the sense exact requirement. If exact requirement matches in the sense, you'll get some limited records. Or in the sense, either of the one. Automatically, you'll get the entire data. Rows might increase. Chalo, how to utilize AND operator? Simple. See, Writing an SQL code is something like just attaching some syntax or English language, nothing more, nothing less. If you're pretty much clear with English, just try to utilize the SQL keywords and trying to write a code. As simple as it. Don't complicate. What is now my requirement is I want all the employees who are working with salary greater than 10,000, less than 15,000. What is the requirement? I want all the employees who are working with salary greater than 10,000, less than 15,000. Okay. Provide me the code. Select star from my MP where salary greater than 10,000 and I want and exact data. Both needs to be satisfied. And salary less than, shall I'll put it in next line. Where salary greater than 10,000 and where salary less than 15,000. Semicolon. Select the entire code. Just click on your Thunder button. That's it. How many rows you're getting, guys? And these 12 rows is nothing but 12 employees who are working with salary greater than 10,000, less than 15,000. See how simple it is to utilize AND operator connecting two requirements here, right? Instead of AND, if you are utilizing OR. Instead of getting 12 rows, now row count will increase. If you are working with AND, both needs to be satisfied exactly. If you are working with OR, the first condition satisfies, second one not satisfies, no problem, get the data. First one not satisfies, second one satisfies, get the data. Obviously, your row count will increase. Select the entire code, just click on the execute button. 106 rows you're getting automatically, right? That means what usually happening here? Maybe the minimum salary is 2200, I guess. Anyone remembered while you're working with order by, right? And the maximum is 24,000. Greater than 10,000 in the sense 24 will come. Less than 15 in the sense 2,000 also will come. Both satisfies. To tackle this, we'll go with other problem statements so that you'll easily understand the difference between AND and OR. Now I'll give a try. I'll give one new question to you. From now onwards, just update me how many rows you are getting in the output. No need to provide that entire syntax. Just update me how many rows you are getting in the output. Offline, you can just orally communicate. As usual, online participants, make sure you can utilize your chat window. Just update me how many rows you are getting in the output. Chale, the question is, try to fetch all the employees who are working in department 50 with salary greater than 3,000. One more time, I'm repeating the question. I want to get all the employee details with department 90 and salary should be greater than 3,000. Just update me the count of rows that you're getting in the output. 50, department 50, salary greater than 3,000. $20,000. 23. See, the question is try to get the employees where department ID is 50 and salary should be greater than 3,000. Okay, let's try to execute parallelly. Explain me the code. Select star from my MP where department ID equals to 50 and salary greater than 3,000. Semicolon. Select the entire code. Just utilize this run button. And now you'll be getting 23 rows. What does it mean? 23 employees are working in the company where these 23 employees are coming from department 50 and their salaries is greater than 3,000. Okay. You'll be getting exact requirement here. Chalo. One more question. Okay. For the same code, now instead of and, I'm utilizing or. Now let's try it out. What is going to happen? Guys, everyone just focus on this part. Instead of and operator, I'm utilizing or. See, before executing the syntax, just try to focus on your result set. For all the employees, department is 50 only, right? Yes or no? All the employee salary is greater than 3000 only, right? If you are utilizing and, both conditions are exactly matching and you'll get that exact data. But here, instead of and, I'm utilizing or now. Now let's try to execute the code and let's try to understand what is going to happen. One or two rows we are getting in the output. And what is the case here? The first column is satisfying, the other column is not satisfying. Still you'll get the data. If you are focusing on this particular department, what is the department, guys? What is our requirement? But still you are getting this record. Why you are still getting this record? Salary is greater than 3000. Here salary is greater than 3000 or not? Obviously. So first one satisfied, second one not satisfied, no problem, get the data. Second one satisfies, first one not satisfies, no problem, get the data. Either of the one or. And in the sense, exact data. In most frequent cases, we'll go with and. Occasionally, in rare scenarios, we'll go with or. Usually. Okay. Chalo, one more simple question. Make a note of it. I want the employees who are working in job ID ADVP, job ID AD underscore VP, department 90, salary greater than 4000. Okay, right, Vijay. Then how many rows you're getting? Two rows. So syntax, guys, select star from my MP where job ID equals to, it's a string, so double quotes, next AD underscore VP and department ID equals to 90 and salary greater than 4000. That's it. So select that entire code, execute. Two rows. So if you're targeting these two rows, the salary is greater than 4000. Yes, it's matching. Department is 90. Yes, it's matching. And job ID is ADVP. It's matching. Clear with this? One more question. But let's go with new concept and then we'll go with the questions. Okay, let me introduce the new topic now. Here I'll try to introduce you with in. Yesterday also I think one question was solved, but anyhow we'll try to go it from scratch level. In. Now I'll try to introduce you with an operator called in operator. In logical operators and is clear. R is clear. Now go with in. In is nothing but extra added list. If you want to select more than one particular value from the same column, you need to go with in. See, simple thing. There is a bucket. Multiple color balls are been there. If you want only white color, select star from bucket where color equals to white. If you want only green color, select star from bucket where color equals to green. But if you want both white and green, select star from bucket where color in. If you want to retrieve the data based upon only single selection, go with equals to. If you want to fetch the data based on multiple selection, go with in instead of equals to. Automatically select star from bucket where color in, open the parenthesis, provide those two colors white and green. If you remember the same kind of functionality in we even discussed in Power BI DAX. Remember filter, calculate table, but there the difference between Power BI and SQL is in Power BI if you are working with in function, in operator, there you opened and closed curly braces, flower brackets. But here if you are using in SQL, you are just utilizing normal rounded parenthesis. See, let's try to understand the code. I want department 10 data. I want all the employees who are working in department 10. Syntax goes like select star from my EMP where department ID equals to 10. Semicolon, select the entire code, just click on run button. How many rows you are getting? One row. Now in the same way, if I want to fetch all the employees who are working in department 20, now instead of writing the same code, I'll just copy paste the code and just I'll change the number from 10 to 20. Select the code, execute. For department and how many employees you have? One. Now in department 20, how many employees are there? Two. Now in the same way, I just want to go for department 30 as well. Department 30. In department 10, one employee, in department 22 employees, in department 30, how many employees are there, guys? Now, if you are combining 10, 20, 30 departments, 3 departments, how many employees you need to get? 9. So, here the syntax goes like select star from my MP where department ID in. If you are having only one equals to, if you are having more than one in. If you are utilizing in, make sure you open and close the parenthesis. Why? Because you are including multiple values in that list. So in between that list, parenthesis, just go with some numbers 10, 20, and then finally 30. And just provide that semicolon, select that entire code, just run it. And you're getting 9 rows of output. Here you are including both department 30, department 20, and department 10 as well. I hope it's clear, everyone. And just similar to your in, there is something called not in as well. Not in is nothing but opposite to your in. So for example, total how many employees are there? 106. From 10, 20, 30, how many employees are there? 9. 106 minus 9. Now we need to get the data. Instead of in, now I'll put not in. In is nothing but you are including 10, 20, 30. Not in is nothing but excluding 10, 20, 30. Apart from 10, 20, 30, whatever the remaining departments are there, just try to pull the data. Now, obviously, 106 employees are there. From that entire 106 employees, if you are excluding this 10, 20, 30 departments, now you are getting 97 records. 97 plus 9, 106. I hope it's clear. In, not in. You'll solve one more question again. Okay. So pick your pen and paper. So the requirement is I want the employees who are working in department 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. The requirement is department should be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Job ID needs to be AD underscore VP, IT underscore proc. Job ID needs to be AD underscore VP, IT underscore proc, PROG. And salary should be something greater than 5,000. Salary should be greater than 5,000. Okay. Chalo, just update me how many rows you are getting in the output. Not, sorry. Hmm. Hmm. No, no, and only. You are getting 0 rows, huh? Acha, then requirement is not there, I guess. Then you can put R. Mm-hmm. Got it, got it. In that case, you can go with R. But that exact data that I'm looking for is this only. Yeah, you can add. For those things, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, just add one more department called 90. Guys, everyone, just update me how many rows you are getting in the output in case if you're adding an extra department called 90 in the department ID column requirement. So what's the code, guys? Select star from my EMP where department ID in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 90 and job ID. Okay, more than one in AD, VP, IT, IT programming. Okay. Next, and salary greater than 5,000. Semicolon, select that entire code, just run it. So I'll be getting 2 rows in the output. Fine. One last problem statement we'll do and we'll jump into the new topic again. So pick your pen and paper. One last question. First name need to be Steven. First name Steven. Job ID AD PRES, AD underscore PRES, AD underscore VP. Salary greater than 10,000. Department ID 90, 100, 110. 90, 100, 110. Department. Done. Okay. So how many rows you are getting? Only one record. Okay. Code guys. Select star. Okay. Now let's try to alter the question a little bit. Okay. The same thing, but I only want the columns that are been conditionals provided. I don't want all the columns. I only want the columns where the conditions that we provided. Now alter it and update me syntax. Select for, okay, no need to write in your case, just explain me. Select first name, comma, job ID, comma, salary, department ID from my MP, where first name equals to double quotes Stephen and job ID more than one. So automatically in open and close the parenthesis. The first one AD PRES, right? And the second one AD VP. Next, and salary greater than 10,000 and department ID in 90, 100, 110. Now, if you can closely see, this code in itself is something. Where is that code? This code, right? If you can closely see, this code in itself is something occupying 3 lines, guys. 3 lines code. Is there any complexity inside it? No. If you understand the logic, you just need to provide that syntax and you need to execute. That's it. SQL is all about data will be available in database. You will be asking a question to database management system. And now database management system will be connected to database and it will pull the data back. And so that that is the way that is the reason I explained you detailedly on the very first day with a diagram. Anyone remembered? A user connected to DBMS connected to database, and what is the purpose of learning a language called SQL and why you are utilizing this tool called MySQL. Detailedly I explained. Now I hope you got that understanding. You are simply asking some questions and getting that answer. You are asking questions in SQL language, you are getting answers in table format. Now table format data itself is nothing but structured data. That is the reason you call it with the name structured query language. Simple. Whatever the question that you want to ask, whatever the data that you want to fetch from the database, for that you will be applying a logic in SQL. And how to create a logic and how to write an expression is something we are just learning. As simple as it. Got it? Now you are trying to execute this entire code. Instead of fetching all the columns, you are only pulling first name, job ID, salary, and department from the table where the conditions have been required. Select it and execute it. Instead of getting all the records, you are getting one record. That means there is only one employee who is working in the company with first name Steven, job ID requirement satisfied, salary greater than that condition, and department condition satisfied. Pretty much clear? Now let's go with new topic, and the topic name in itself is called wildcard concept. Okay, the topic name is wildcard. Now what are wildcards, guys? Big Boss wildcard, sudden surprise. Okay, so not Big Boss wildcard. So wildcards are something utilized here for pattern matching result. Okay, let me explain you in a detailed way. Pattern matching result. So what does this pattern matching mean? So for example, I'll execute the same code one more time. Select star from my MP. I'll be getting all the columns and all the rows, 106 employees of data. Now the requirement is very simple. I just want to fetch all the employees whose first name starts with letter S. See, try to understand the question. My requirement is I want to fetch all the employees where the employee first name, first letter is S. Suresh, S. Sai, S. In the name, if first letter is starting with S, just try to pull the data. Here we are not trying to focus on fetching exact data. Here you are trying to focus more upon pattern data. Is it pattern or not? If every in that column, every data point which is starting with letter S, pull the data is nothing, but it's a pattern only. Now this kind of pattern data, if you want to fetch, that is something we will be utilizing it with the concept wildcard. Okay. Now, how we are going to do that part? Simple. Select star from IMP is there. Along with it, we'll try to understand. Remember, there is only one wildcard concept here in MySQL. The keyword is like keyword. The keyword that you need to utilize is like keyword. What is the meaning of like? Like, is there anything like that? Try to understand. Like is nothing but is there anything like that? If anything like that, try to get the data. Now let's try to write a piece of code here. My question is very simple. I want all the employees where first letter in that first name column is starting with letter S. If you are talking about a full name, employee will be having first name and last name. In first name, the first letter need to start with S. So syntax, select star from myMP where first name like. Here we are not putting equals to in nothing. First name like. Is there anything like that? First name like. Obviously first name is string. It's nothing but non-numeric data. If you are considering it as string, double quotes. Inside the double quotes, provide it with the name S, letter S, and then utilize the symbol called percentile symbol. That means before percentile, if you are putting any letter, that is nothing but you want to start with that letter. In that column, you want to start with that letter. And then simply, if you want to close it, semicolon. And select the entire code and just try to execute it. Now, how many rows you are getting, guys? And these are the 13 employees where the first name, first letter is starting with S. Chalo, one more question. Try to explain me the code. I want all the employees where the employee last name, first letter is starting with B. Provide me the code, guys. Select star from myMP where last name like double quotes B. C. Starting with B, right? B percentile double quotes semicolon. Select the entire code. Run it. 9 rows you are getting. That means there are 9 employees where the last name first letter is starting with B. I hope it's clear. Now you will try to solve one more question. Okay. Try to update me how many employees are there with a first name, last letter ending with A. Try to understand the question. I want the count of employees who are working in the company where the first name, last letter is ending with A. Hmm? 16. Good. Let's try to execute the code. Select star from myMP where first name like ending with. So if you want ending with First, you need to provide percentile, then you need to provide the letter. Okay, what is the letter? A, semicolon. If you want to start with a letter before percentile, if you want to end with that letter after percentile, select that entire code and just click on this run button. That's it. Automatically you are getting 16 rows of output where the first name of that employee last letter is ending with A. One more question. First name starts with A, last name ends with N. First name starts with A, last name ends with N. First name starts with A, last name ends with N. How many rows? Two. You just show me. Just showcase me that. Hmm? Maybe in above line you closed it with semicolon. Okay. So guys, what is the syntax? Select star from myMP where first name starts with A na? A percentile then. Next, and if you are working with Power BI, if you want to utilize AND operator, what is the syntax? Power BI, ampersand for twice. If you want, if you are working with Power BI DAX or operator, two vertical dashes, lines. Okay. Chalo. Remember those things, practice frequently. And last name like N percentile, percentile N, and then semicolon, select the code, run it. You'll be getting two records in the output. Chalo, fine, perfect. One lengthy question will solve. Guys, pick your pen and paper. First name should starts with letter L. First name should starts with letter L. Last name should end with letter N. Last name should end with letter N. See, first name, first letter L, last name, last letter N. And hire date is something greater than 1985. Hire date should be something greater than 1st of January 1985. Job ID can be ADVP IT Proc. Job ID need to be IT Proc ADVP. Department needs to be 60. 90. Department needs to be 60, 90. Lengthy question? Okay. So just check that out and update me how many rows. Syntax, guys. Select star from my MP where first name like starts with L percentile and last name like percentile Ella N. Okay, next. And hire date greater than As we discussed, this particular thing as a string you need to assume. Okay, next 1985 0101. Next, see, providing the question is simple. Writing that answer is little challenging, right? Boring too. Job ID in ADVP. After all the day, last session something memory 50-50. ADVP, IT, rock. That's it. And department ID in 60, 90. Still any? Okay, semicolon. Select the entire code, just execute. One record. Starts with L, ends with N. Height date greater than 1st of January 1985. Department based upon the condition and job ID based on the condition requirement. So this is how you can utilize the concept called while. Chalo, one last question, guys. Okay, simple question, but a little tricky question. I just want to fetch all the employees where in the first name there needs to be a pattern called EVE. EVE. It's not like starts with, it's not like ends with. There needs to be a pattern called EVE in that first name column. It can be middle, starting, ending, I don't know. Just wherever that EVE pattern data is there in the first name, just try to pull it. Okay, 2 minutes. Two rows. Chalo, let's try to execute it. Select star from my MP where first name, like if I want to start with letter percentile, ends with percentile letter, but if I want something between this, automatically you need to provide percentile, EVE, percentile. Between percentile and percentile, whatever that you are providing, that is the pattern that you are looking for. Starts with or ends with or in middle, whatever the data is. And just try to simply select the entire code, run it. Simple. Two employees are there with the name Steven. If you're targeting about that particular record called Steven, there is something called EVE inside that Steven keyword. That's it. Clear? Now, let's go with one more important operator called between. Between itself is something utilized to understand the range. Between, range, min to max. Between the range, whatever the data is there, try to pull it. Without between, we'll try to execute one code and let's then try to understand between. Now my requirement is, guys, I want all the employees who are working with salary 10,000 to 20,000. Okay. The question is, I want all the employees who are working with salary 10,000 to 20,000. Just explain me the code. Select star from my MP where salary First, we'll go with operators, comparison operators. Greater than or greater than equals to. The question is not greater than 10,000, less than 20,000. I want to get all the employees who are working with salary 10,000 to 20,000. That means I want to even include 10,000, also include 20,000. So salary greater than equals to 10,000 and salary less than equals to 20,000. Semicolon. Select that entire code, just try to run it. 18 rows you are getting where salary is 10,000 to 20,000. Now the same data, if you want to fetch, but with the help of between, syntax goes like select star from my EMP where salary between 10,000 and 20,000. Semicolon. Select star from IMP where salary between 10,000 and 20,000. Select the code. You'll get again the same 18 records. If you want greater than condition and less than condition, go with comparison operator. If you want to go with between, go with between. Anything is fine. For example, instead of in workbench, we use, yeah, Vijay. There are too many problems comparable with SQL study. What happens if many tools us to work in SQL studio instead of workbench? Anything is fine. See, if you are pretty much clear with syntax, you can go with anything, right? A little interface or these options will be different. You can just check that out. It will include, Ajay, between will include 10,000 and 20,000. See, if you are not putting equals to here in comparison operator, that is a different thing altogether, right? That is something greater than 10,000 and less than 20,000. It is not including equals to 10 and equals to 20. See, you are getting 14 rows only. Okay. If you are putting equals to, it will include between. By default, it will include the value that you are selecting to the maximum value that you are selecting between. Done. Okay. If don't want to include using between, in the sense, alternative is operators. That's it. Okay. So, okay, what is the error, Likita? See, you column name is wrong. First name. Focus on the column name, FIRST, first name. It is giving you an error stating that unknown column, first name in where clause. So if you're providing a different name which is not there in the table, it will simply throw you an error stating that that column itself is not available in the table. So focus on the spellings as well, guys. If you're not getting any data, maybe based on that requirement, data is not there, I guess, Vijay. That is also a case, right? It's not something like based on every requirement there needs to be an employee. No. Maybe in case if you're not having, you'll get that. Okay. Now, One last question and we'll try to wind the session. Okay, one lengthy question we'll do. We'll integrate all the concepts, everything. The question is, guys, pick your pen and paper. First name needs to start with A. Last name need to end with N. Last name, okay, go with D. First name, first letter starts with A. Last name, last letter ends with D. Hire date, employee hire date should be between 1st of January 1975 till hire date should be 1st of January 1975 till 31st of December 1990. 31st of December 1990. Job ID needs to be AD underscore VP. Salary should be greater than 8,000. Salary should be greater than 8,000 and department ID can be 9060. Provide me the output and don't ask me to execute the code. Okay. So provide me what is the output that you are getting. Based upon the majority, we'll go with the conclusion. Hmm? 0. Hey, you need to get, I guess, at least one. Hmm? 0. Yeah, there is no requirement on it. Mhm. Anyway. Acha, okay. I provided only one requirement in job ID. Huh? Okay. Then go with IT prog as well, along with ADVP. So I detailedly noticing, along with ADVP, go with IT prog as well. Still no record. You need to get one record, guys. Give it a try. Okay, clear. So maybe you need to get one record. Just check that out. Okay. And update me what's your answer again tomorrow. Okay. So, okay then. I hope you enjoyed the session today. So the same thing again, new concepts we'll try to learn tomorrow in SQL and we'll try to understand what are all the things that we can do. Okay. So slowly, day by day, we'll try to level up our SQL knowledge. Okay. Hello. Okay. Right. Okay, one row. That is what you need to get one recording. Okay, check that out. Okay, update me. State that you're getting. So, okay, then we'll connect tomorrow again. Okay, guys. Okay, then everyone. Bye, guys. Let's connect tomorrow. Good night. Tomorrow.